Hello, this is Cyrocken. Basically, this is going to be a bad commentary of me talking over the game. I'm just going to be going through some of the things that I do that might not be obvious, might not be written in the route, which there's a lot of things in this game that aren't really written out. So this is just basically for anybody who wants to start running the game, or wants to try it, or just get better. So the beginning here is super easy. You just, master all the text. One thing is mashing with B is definitely faster, so that helps out a lot. There's not really too much to talk about right here, but basically, you just go through the beginning as normal. Later, we're in Green Gods, we're gonna try to get to level 1, or we're gonna get to level 1. By the way, this is my PB run. It's still pretty bad, but I am gonna improve it soon, I hope. So basically, right there, we just smash through the text and pick whatever death. And it's a really bad movement. I really sucked there. There's a Wigan mode up here on the left. Always get that. We need, well, for this route, I probably use 16, 17 Wigan welds. I like to have that many at least. Pick up 4 before school, and then we make 8 to 10 depending on how it goes, and then we can also buy a few when we come back to Diagon Alley. So here I'm looking for 2 encounters. The best way to level up is 2 bats or 3 bats and 1 rat. Right here I get 1 bat, so that means the next fight needs to have 2 bats and 1 rat. Optimally, because of lag and everything, you would get 2 bats in one fight, and then a bat and a rat in the other fight, because you always have to have at least two fights. So 3 bats actually is just a little bit short of leveling up, and the only reason we level up is because just makes the fight a lot easier. Here, as a small thing, if you stand up in the top right here, the spawns can go everywhere. So I stand in that hallway, and if I haven't got a spawn yet, usually I've got the second fight way before then, and that was a useless crit. I should have hit the bat with that, but you can't tell. But anyway, I stand in the hallway so I can be closer to the spawn. He won't go way off screen to the side or whatever. And also, in all these fights, you always take out the one you can kill in just 1 hit if you can, because lag reduction as well. So fewer enemies on screen, better it goes. So yeah, that was. I'm gonna and every level up here, you get full health and magic. So we have full health and magic and go straight into the boss. So this fight's pretty easy overall. Take out the 2 small rats first. Hope the big rat misses you a few times, which he doesn't. Oh, he missed me there, so that was good. And then this rat has 80 HP, so I hit him with 21, which is good. That's the most I can do without getting crit like there. So there, I've done 60 damage to him. You can also get then the 3rd hit, so I got him in 3 hits. This is a very good fight. And I got a hardened boots drop, which means I don't have to buy boots later at Diagon Alley, because you have to buy your equipment later on, or you can't actually leave Diagon Alley. So getting the hardened boots there, they offer more protection, and they save time in the shop. So hardened boots used to be a job I reset for, but then I got tired of doing all the resets. So now I just go with whatever. because the boots are really cheap, and the defense, yes, I think it's like extra defense is what they do. It's not really that important, but it's nice to get it. And so here, obviously, we've had all our fights. We don't want any encounters on the way out. And so far, this is not my best Gringotts dungeon, but it was pretty good. It was sub 4 at the rat. By killing the rat, it was sub 4. So that's pretty good. And then so now we got our money from the vault, and now we have to go get school supplies. So you can go to the top first, or you can go to the bottom. It's really just a preference. I don't think either one's faster, but I always go to the bottom. So you talk to Malfoy and all that. And so here we have to buy 3 robes. It's all on the list. Winter cloak, dragon skin. And then I go ahead and buy the belt, because it's really quick to buy, even though we don't really need it. It just gives an extra boost, and I go ahead and equip here. And I equip the winter cloak there, not the regular cloak, robe. And then and you see the hardened boots I had. Okay, and so this guy right here, he's blocking this Wickenweld sometimes. So depending on where he is, I can get it either on the way out or the way into Flourish and Blotts. So there, I got it on the way in, even though I probably should have left, but going out would have been bad too. So, and coming up here is a small skip, saves about a second or two. You can skip this guy on the top, sitting by the building. You can skip his text by walking lower, like under his hitbox. So, but you have to remember to do it on the way out. Here, I just buy the potion kit bag. We don't really have money to buy the potions yet, so we just kind of forget about it. And then here we buy the copper cauldron, the one on the bottom, because we need it to make potions later. We could just buy the other one and save a little bit of money, but then we couldn't make the potions. And here I'm setting up to skip that guy's text. So, and there we go. And that's all the ingredients. I believe this was sub 7 minutes for getting all the school supplies and stuff, which is really good. Like I usually look when I exit the cauldron shop to see what time it is, and it was around 7 minutes, so that was pretty good. And now we're here. There's not really any drops or anything you can pick up here. Just talk to, I don't know which of the twins is on the left, but talk to the first one just to get on the train faster. And then here we are. And then you have to mash A to get through the train. I always mess up because I always want to mash B, and then I always get the train for a little bit. And if do you see that guy right there walking? Sometimes he can get in front of you. That's why I go to the bottom and walk straight, so he won't get in the way. And then here's Ron. So this is just a lot of mashing. And so Hermione comes up and all this kind of stuff. We get a spell that's very important for later. Okay, so this lady running the trolley, she sells pumpkin pastries and stuff like that. We don't need any of that right now. We actually sometimes you have to use your Wiggenweld against the rat at Gringotts, but luckily I didn't have to in this run. So even then, even if I have to use it, I don't buy anything here because you could save up the money for stuff later. Usually, just by killing things, you get a few like tiny health drops, which is all the candy is for. And so this is not really even an important fight. I got hit pretty early, which is kind of worrying. It's not worth it to heal in this fight, so I kind of just hope. Basically, now we have to get. Basically, how you level up spells in this game is you use them so many times. I think it's 50 times. So this is actually turning out to be a really good fight because he keeps missing me. But anyway, so you can get 5 cast of Verdimillious, which is the spell we just got from Hermione, and we need that to level up. pretty soon in the run. Also, you know, Malfoy is facing my back there. That's just, you can kind of move in some cutscenes a little bit, so it's just kind of fun to do sometimes. Okay, here, speeding up the train. You just talk to Ron 4 times. You're supposed to walk around and talk to people, but if you just talk to Ron 4 times, then the train will stop. But anyway, going back to the level up spells. We got 5 casts there. I don't really count my casts. I know the other runner, I think he tries. I'm not really sure. And I guess it's important too, but I just know when it pops up in the level. And then there was a Wigan Mold Potion there by Hagrid. And this is just a small glitch that's just for fun. You can make the wake of the boat go way off screen. It's really just for fun. Here, basically, we want to get a lot of encounters on the lake. We don't want to see the dragonflies, because the dragonflies don't give enough experience compared to the other enemies. And most of the other enemies can be killed in, well, all the other enemies can be killed in either 1 or 2 shots. So, you don't want the dragonflies at all if you can avoid them. And plus, they take a long time to attack. So 2 dragonflies. On this first level up, it's not a big deal, because you don't really need that much XP. But on the later level ups, you can run out of magic power, and then you have to use a pepper up potion, which you might not have yet, because it's all based on drops. And you know, I don't really check for drops. Also, what I'm doing in here is I'm looking for the. I'm going for the fixed drops. This is a really bad encounter, by the way. I'm going for the fixed drops, or not the fixed drops, the fixed spawn locations, the tentacles, because it's just faster than chasing the dragonflies around. So it's just, you know, a guarantee that you're going to hit it. And we really don't need that much. There's actually a spot later where we can chain a bunch of fights together. That's coming up in just a little bit. So, in fact, it's right here. So, you know, basically we got 1 level up. Now we're just going for the second one. Basically, what I try to do, I go back and forth on the levels I do it, which is kind of messed up. But I make sure that I'm gonna level up on the boss at the end of this. There's a dungeon after we cross the lake, and then there's a boss at the end of there. So I make sure I'm gonna level up against the boss by getting down to about, you know, 12, 15 magic power. You know, pretty far down there, and then I'll level up on this boss. Also, right here, what I'm doing is there's a tentacle and a rock. Basically, you hit the tentacle and fight the tentacle, and then you run into the rock. And how that works in this game is basically running into land makes you go into another fight, and then it spawns you back a little bit. So we can chain fights really quickly here by running into the tentacle, running into the rock, and we go right back to the bridge. So that's a really good way to chain everything together. We'll probably do, I don't know, it's quite a few fights, I believe. And I'm gonna get off for just a second, hold on. Okay, so I'm back. My dogs were bothering. I don't know if you heard that in the mic. Sorry if you did. But anyway, so we chain all these fights right here, so that I believe I go up to 37 magic is what I've come up to. So after I level up to get to 37 magic, which this is actually really bad because I have to use a pepper potion here. So actually in my PB, this lake crossing was really bad. Like 2 or 3 minutes behind my PB bad. Well, maybe not 2 or 3 minutes. It was bad though. It was at least a minute and a half off, and I didn't even really get that much. I didn't get anything extra out of it by putting in the extra time. So it was really a bad lake crossing. So but the rest of the run was really good. So But anyway, so now we're at 34 magic power. And you want to just keep using the Vertimilius because it works well on everything. And there's a fight later on we need Vertimilius Duo for. So we're using Vertimilius Uno 50 times to level it up. And so, like I said earlier, the dragonflies we don't want to see. The tentacles and the, I guess it's like a clam, they both do really well. And actually, this is kind of how I'm kind of different in the route I do now. I left it like 34. So I go back and forth about when you can leave because there's a second grinding spot. We don't get the spell level up on the lake. There's a second grinding spot where we have to kill enemies anyway, and so really it's just kind of which grinding spot do you like better? I think the lake is definitely safer, but I'm not really sure which way is actually faster as of now. So, and right up here there's a lot of enemies. That's why you leave a little bit early, because, which is I guess why I could still actually, I'm at the 37 now. So if I get to enough fights, then I will be in line to level up at the fight, which I don't think I got in this run. I'll have to see because I haven't watched this run in a while actually. So, but yeah, here pretty much you only want to do however many fights can get you to the level up on. It's actually a knight, like a knight armor. Oh yeah, I don't know what it is. There's a knight at the end of this dungeon, and so that's who you want to level up on. And it looks like I might get close actually to leveling up on him. It's not crucial, but what it does is you're gonna end that fight at low health, and if you level up on that fight before then you'll get healed before the next section. So it looks like I'll be close to leveling up. This is a really bad finish. I think because of all these dragonflies, which is why this is a slow section for me. But anyway, just keep using Vertimilius here, and yeah, that's basically it. And then the dungeon after this, basically we want no encounters. There is one Wiggenweld worth picking up, and so I'll pick that up in the run. And there's actually a part where Hagrid's supposed to talk to you, then you can skip that. So that saves a few seconds. So yeah, basically this path is pretty simple. Right here is where Hagrid talks to you the first time, and then directly above here is where the Wiggenweld is. So you just go up to this statue, I guess, and then do that. And then I stupidly got into this fight. That was just bad movement, but I thought I could squeeze faster and I couldn't. But anyway, so I got away. So you just keep going. And I walk along this top wall here just to minimize the chance an encounter will spawn in front of me. It still happens occasionally, but like that one actually was pretty close. But it's usually pretty safe. And here you walk along the top of this wall as close as you can get to the wall. And then Hagrid's supposed to talk to you right there when you get to the opening, but he won't spawn. So that works out well. And here's the knight. The knight is actually extremely easy. You just spam Flipendo Uno on him, and unless you have really low health, you should be okay. Like I came to this site with 79, missed a shot, and I'm pretty sure I won't have to heal. We'll see. I can't remember. I don't think I healed. Yeah, so he takes 4 hits every time as long as you don't miss. And so I went with it on 7 HP, or as SP, I guess. I'm pretty sure I knew I was having a bad split, and I just said, okay, I don't really like this run anyway, so you know, I'll go for it. And I didn't get the level up, so I went ahead and healed right there. You don't have to heal right there because you're not going to get encounters for a long time. But sometimes I heal there just so I won't forget. And sometimes I actually don't even check to see if I, see if I got the level up until I get into a fight, which is the dangerous way of doing it. If I didn't see it when I was mashing through the finale, the end of the battle, sometimes you just can't see it because it goes by too fast. So, or you forget. So it's just kind of that's just kind of reacting to how much HP you have. I had 7 HP and I didn't level up, so that means the first fight I got into after this, I would probably potentially instantly die because they have priority and they attack first. And so now we just have the sorting. Not really a big deal, just mashing. There is a small optimization here. When you after you get sorted, you have to walk down and go to your table, and you're supposed to talk to Hermione at the table, and that's how you sit down, and that's like the trigger. So the Gryffindor table's bottom right, and you talk to Hermione. You see, I had to move a little bit after. You can talk to Hermione from a lot farther away, and then you have to walk for a long time. So you want to line up right where it moves you to after. It does like a little stutter, like it moves you a little bit, and then it moves you to your seat. So you wanna talk to her as close to that spot as you can, so you won't have to move the extra distance. And I'm kind of talking about that kind of stuff because there's really nothing else to talk about right here. So now we just have to go to Gryffindor Tower. Here's Peeves and everything. Not really a big deal yet. So coming up, there's on the left here, there's a sickle drop on an item, or on an object right here on the square. So I didn't see what I actually got there, but what you want to get from those, there's 2 of them that we pick up. That one you can pick up later in the route if you want to. Oh, and there's a secret here. I really messed it up, but I got it. It takes you from the 2nd floor to the 5th, and then now we're on the 6th, and then 7th is Gryffindor. But anyway, the sickle drops, there are 2 that we pick up, and that's just so we can buy more potions later on. And technically, to be safe, you want to get around 150 on each one, so around 300, so you can get 2 extra potions. It doesn't always happen that way, but usually I have enough to buy 6 potions at the at Diagon Alley. And right here is kind of a small time saver that we just found. Nearly Headless Nick is actually on that floor, the 6th floor, and he wants you to talk to him so you can get the password. He wants a necktie, and the necktie is all the way down here on the in the entrance hall, on the statue on the left here. So he wants that, but if we come down here and get it first before talking to him, then we can skip the text about him wanting to get the necktie, wanting you to get the necktie. So you basically you save about 15 seconds by not talking to him. And I'm down here in the dungeons. I took a shortcut from the 5th floor down to the dungeons. You take that one a couple times. It's the fast way to get down. You actually can't come up that way because the game has the dungeons dropped off in the very beginning. I guess because they want you to see the Peeves cutscene, and then there's a pepper up potion right behind the Sphinx. Very useful to get. We need. Trying to remember I don't know the exact number, but around 6 or 7 pepper up potions for the route. Sometimes it depends. If you miss a lot, then you need more. So that's kind of just how it goes. But yeah, that's basically it. So now we made it to Gryffindor. And then for tomorrow, oh yeah, I accidentally walked in the cutscene there. You don't want to go back down the stairs. That just, takes up time. And then you have to hit the bed. I hit the bed as far down as I can, so because you spawn there in the morning. And so I try to get as low on the bed as I can get, so I can just save a little bit of time. You obviously don't want to take too much time setting that up though, because then it just wastes time overall. So now we're going to potions, which is in the dungeon. So we'll take that shortcut that we did earlier. And just one thing about this game, the movement is really not good. The hitboxes of the staircases, especially, and just some items or objects are really bad. And basically, when you're trying to avoid encounters and stuff, and you push the direct opposite way Harry's walking, sometimes instead of just turning around, he'll do like a loop. And going through the cauldrons here is just maybe a little bit faster. That's just what I do. It's actually, I've lost time doing that before because you get caught on the cauldron, so hitboxes there are bad too. But anyway, Harry will walk in a loop instead of just turning back. So I mean, the walking just takes a lot of getting used to optimize. And so in this class, basically Neville hurt himself, and so now we have to get 3 items to make the potion to heal him. And actually, right there, I made a mistake. I just realized that I didn't get the boomslang skin from Snape's office. Technically, you can get it now. And here's the first fight. This is where we are supposed to grind. The items we need are boomslang skin, which you get in Snape's office, snake fangs, and I would have fought that fight, but I didn't have this antidote, and I got poisoned the first turn, so I ran. So basically here we do some leveling up to get to around 40 magic, well, to 40 magic, and right around there is when you should get Vertimilius Duo, which is the spell we need for the fight. So we're leveling up here while trying to get a snake fang drop. And then now we're walking down to Hagrid's, fighting everything along the way, again for the snake fang drop. This is a bad fight to get at the time. In fact, I'm pretty sure I lost time here, because I'm going to have to use a pepper up potion, and overall I don't think my potions was bad, but this was a slow fight to take. Because if this fight didn't give me the snake fangs, which I really don't remember if it does, this is a long time to waste. And also I'm getting really close to dying here. Dying here is a very common thing because the snakes can poison you, and that's what you needed the antidote for. And you got the poison right there. So I used my antidote already, and that's the only antidote we get in the run. I kind of like to hold on to it. It kind of gets in the way in your inventory because it takes up the first slot, but it's good because Quirrell, the fight at the very end of the game, can poison you, and it's kind of just it's just a pain if he poisons you at the very end and you're not ready for it. So yeah, this is a very long fight. I'm thinking since this was my PB, I'm pretty sure I got the snake fangs here, hopefully. Either way, I need to kill these guys to level up anyway, and get all these casts of the spell. So this is not really too bad of a time loss. It just seems really slow. Oh, see, I got double snake fangs, so that's great. So I've got that, and then we have to talk to Hagrid here because he's supposed to know where all the ingredients are around the castle. So this is just kind of the hint, I guess. And then he said he was, spraying for beetles around his cabin, which we need beetle's eyes for the potion. So there's 2 beetle's eyes right here, super easy to get. And then now all we need before we can go back in the building is we need to get the spell level up. Your level up really doesn't matter. Whatever. I mean, Harry's level is always going to be the same. And so now I'm just waiting for encounters here. to get the spell level up. And one snake, at full health is not bad to take out. If there were 2, or definitely if there were 3 snakes, I might have just ran. I would definitely have ran from the fight if I get poisoned the first time, because it takes 20 HP every turn, and I got the spell right there. So that was overall a pretty good potions class, because now I've got everything I need except for the boomslang skin, which I forgot to get. And funny enough, there's actually a glitch that kind of just breaks the game. Sometimes this boomslang skin won't spawn if you don't pick it up first. I've never got it, but I know I've got it when I was younger playing this game. So I know it exists, I'm just not sure what causes it. So I haven't seen it in a run ever, and I've had a lot of runs to get to potions class. So I've done probably around 250, 300 attempts of this game. So and most of them get, pretty far. We haven't found any, well, there's not any really dangerous areas so far in this run. So, okay, so basically this is just a small optimization. The classes, you have to do all your classes, and you can kind of do them in any order now. You have a bunch of classes, and so what I decided to do was the 2 outside classes, and then go straight up the building, do every one. What you saw right there with the bicorn horn, I'll talk about that right now because flying classes takes a while. I picked up a dried nettle at the very beginning, and that's for herbology later because you have to gather herbs. And the bicorn horn is a potion ingredient, and I picked up 3 of them by picking it up, pressing start, pressing B to get out of the start menu, and then pressing A again, and the item respawns. So you can chain them together, and the bicorn horn is the ingredient for the pepper up potion. So I think I knew I had a lot of pepper up potions at this point, so I only got 3. To be safe, like learning the route, I would probably make like 6 or 7. I used to make like 10. I think I used to make like 10 pepper up potions when I first started the route. But anyways, pepper up potions, refill your magic. So they're pretty useful in a lot of these fights. Much later on, we're going to be just basically casting really weak spells at really powerful enemies for a long time. So we need healing items and, magic refilling items. And flying class is really straightforward. All you have to do is dodge the bushes to catch Malfoy. It's surprisingly tough. And there's an encounter that I shouldn't have got. But anyway, the flying class can go really bad or can go really well. That was pretty good. I had some pretty good dodges in that class. And so basically, what we're taking care of right now is flying class and herbology, which are both are outside. So the flying class is done, and so we're going here. Herbology is actually where we were in the beginning. We were fighting the snakes. It's actually way up there. But what we're gonna do is gather up all the ingredients, all the herbs is what they're called, to complete the list that we're supposed to collect for herbology. And this one right here, the unicorn horn, is actually an item for making Wiggenweld potions. So I think I got 8 there, and so and then I grabbed I don't know how to say it, the one from the bush in the corner there, and then this one right here is really bad spawns there. I need to be in the front of that, and so I kind of squeeze in there. So this one I grabbed the same number as the unicorn horns, because this and the unicorn horn get combined. So if I got 8 of the other one, I'd grab 8 of this one. And this is Wolfsbane. So you can see you can chain this really fast. Mashing start B A, start B A. And also, just by the way, but basically we're getting all the ingredients here, so we don't have to come back outside after we go start the herbology class. We haven't started the class yet, but we can still get the ingredients. There was wormwood. You really don't want to encounter around here, because, especially in that last area with the Wolfsbane and everything, because those enemies can do 70 damage. and you have about, I think it's 120 HP right now, maybe max, maybe even just 100. So, and they attack before you go. So if you get like 2 or 3 of them, then you can really quickly die. And then you have to walk all the way back downstairs from the 4th floor, which is really time consuming. As you see in the corner, I got the Mandrake root, I believe, and then there's the Dittany. The Mandrake root, you need 3 of those. You know, the same. You know, you need the same amount as the Bicorn horn you got earlier before flying class, because those combine. And a really big, you don't want this encounter here. We've already leveled up everything, so we don't want any more wild encounters until a certain area. Wild encounter, it's not Pokemon, but anyway. And then there's the last item right there, and green herbology is in this greenhouse right here. And then it's another big mashing through the class text. You have to talk to Ron and everything. But basically, the Mandrake root that you got earlier is actually needed on this list, and you have to have it in your inventory before you when you talk to Professor Sprout. So all we do here to complete that is walk outside, walk back in, and talk to Professor Sprout, and then we're gonna make potions. The issue is, and I've done this before in a run, is if you make potions before and you use all your Mandrake roots, then you can't complete the herb list, and then you have to walk all the way back out. And the cauldron is, I'm bad at the item menus there. And actually, I got, oh no, actually, yeah, I got 4 of each of those. And so this menuing is horribly bad. Not how I'm doing it, but just doing this is not fun. It used to be a lot worse because I used to make 20 or 25 Wiggenwelds and then about 10 Pepperup. And here I made 10 Wiggenwelds and 4 Pepperup potions. So it's really gotten a lot better, and that's all due to the fact that we actually buy items now later in the run. Why I didn't do that when I made the route is I just didn't think it was possible to you know, afford enough potions to make it, you know, a viable option. And then the other guy, Chris, who runs the game with me, he found out that it was we could afford, you know, 6 or 7 early in the run. So it was a great way to save a lot of time. And so now we have to we finished herbology, and now we have to get our potions ingredients from Professor Snape, which, funnily enough, we already made the potions that he gave the ingredients for. We don't even need the potion ingredients to make the potions, so it doesn't even really matter. But we have to do that to start the next class. So now we just kind of go up through the castle and do all the different classes we can. The first one is Transfiguration right here. This is the easiest class by far. She tells you that they accidentally transfigured a purple candle into a rabbit, and it was a lit candle, so it's on fire. And so now you have to go find it and bring it back. And then Hermione tells you something like it's probably went outside. So it's literally right outside the door here on the left. So it's really easy to find. There is a little bit of RNG, and you can save time. Like, that's actually a bad spawn for the rabbit. It can be actually right by the tree here in the front. And what's really bad is when you're going for that, and you go behind the tree, there can be enemy spawns behind the tree in those bubbles that you just can't see. And so you can lose a lot of time on this stupid class because you got into an encounter that you couldn't get out of. So anyway, we completed that, and you can mash through those. I do it by hitting B and A at the same time and kind of alternating. I really don't know exactly the fastest way to mash through those, because sometimes it seems like they don't want you to skip the point screens. But anyway, at the end of that class, we got Incendio Uno, which is also a very good spell. because it's the only other spell we level up, which we'll be doing later in the run. It's a pain to level up, but it's very useful to level it up for the Devil Snare at the end. And now we're doing Charms, which is absolutely the worst class in existence. It's a memorization game. So all you have to do is remember the things, you know, the directions he's pointing, and then, you know, do that on the control stick or control pad, whatever. But there's 3 stages of this, and if you mess any of them up, he repeats his whole pattern again, so you can see it again, and obviously that wastes a lot of time. And if you fail at any stage, you have to do the whole thing over. So it's actually really funny. In this run, I don't think I had any mistakes, but I actually forgot it on the very last round. You'll see it pretty soon. I completely forgot the pattern, and then you can see me. Oh, okay, I did make a mistake. So anyway, you want this to go perfect, obviously, to save time. I can usually get it all the way. This is like serious concentration time for me, though. I'm really bad about messing this up. But I've seen Chris lose the whole entire run to this. I mean, of course, he continued the run. His PB wasn't great at the time, which he's catching up to me too. So there's really only 2 runners right now. We had another guy a while ago. That was about a year ago, and I haven't seen him around. But there's a few runners, mainly 2. And right here at the end of this, you can see I hesitate right there, and so all this was almost guesswork. I was so confused, and then you see the really long hesitation, and I got it right. So I was very surprised I beat that. And then right here, you see I walked down during that cutscene. You're not supposed to be walking down there, but if you hold down, you move down about 4 or 5 steps, and it saves a lot of time. So hold down when you beat Charms, and also mash A as soon as you get that final input on the stool, get the mini game, because it'll cancel Harry's dancing scene. And then we go up through the library because it's faster, and we grab the Wiggenweld from that statue because it's right there. And now this is Defense Against Dark Arts, so P's put a curse on us. Curse of the Bogies, I believe is what it's called. And so now we have to find the spell book. So this is one of those, you're supposed to go all over the castle asking people, about where the book is, the book to what the counter curse is. You're supposed to go to the library and a few other places, but since this is a speedrun and we know where the book is, we can just go straight for it. Right here is the other sickle drop. I got 185 there, so I'm pretty much guaranteed to be over 300 for the 2 sickles. This fight, I don't heal before it. It's probably, if you're not comfortable with it, it's probably safer to heal before. Basically, this guy can't. This guy shouldn't be a problem unless he crits you. He can do about, his crits do about 30 damage, I guess. So that's why I healed right there. But we just use Vermilius Uno, one we haven't leveled up at all, and just hit him. Flipendo also works. It does about 15 damage, and this Vermilius does about 20. I think this guy has about 250 HP. I'm not certain on that, but it takes usually you have to heal your magic or refill your magic in this fight because it takes a while. But the thing is, leveling up your spell, the spell we leveled up earlier, Vertimilius, doesn't do anything to him. I think it maybe does 1 damage. So it's not useful in this fight. So and leveling up the other spell, the one we're using right now, Vermilius, would take too long to make it worth it. Because you saw how long all the lake and all the grinding outside the castle was all for Verdemilius. That's the only spell we used for that entire time, and it took a long time to level it up. So, but anyway, that fight is usually really easy. I may have lost one run to it a long time ago, but it's really not bad. And then you use the book right there to remove the counter curse, and you also learn what is definitely the most important spell in the run. The poison spell, it's hard to say, it's Mucus ad nauseum, I believe is how you say it. But anyway, it's what makes this run really interesting at the end. Really what made me really want to run this game when I found it. This is a game I used to play all the time, and it was a really fun game. But I always looked for a speedrun of it. It was one of the first games I tried to find a speedrun of, and I never found one. And this was like 2 or 3 years ago. Well, like 2012 probably. And I could never find a speedrun of it. So I eventually made a route, but that was the first trick I found, the one with the poison. That we'll see it later. And also that book right there that we got, we just took it back to Quarrel because that's faster. He'll take it back to the library for us, but you can also take it to Madam Prince in the library, and she'll give you, I think 10 house points or something. So it's not really important. We don't go for points. Usually you can win the house cup even without getting the extra points. And now it's History of Magic, and Professor Ben sends you back to Diagon Alley to buy a card from a guy on the street, a wizard's card, because he thinks he gave a card like that to Harry's father, and he wants to make sure it's the same one. So anyway, you saw I went to the shop there and bought 6 potions. If you have over 900, you can buy 6 Wiggenweld potions, and so that's the best way to do it. And then you talk to this guy. I did a small glitch when I talked to him out in the courtyard or whatever. I just talked to him from the side. It doesn't really save that much time, but I always go for it just because I've really never messed it up. So his vault's right here, and of course there's a big boss battle in it. This fight is the first fight that's actually tough. So you can see we just lost almost 100 HP from that. So we already leveled up, and here is a glitch that I'm not going to have enough time to explain. I just skipped all 3 of the rat's attacks. I used an item, and I used a Wiggenweld to heal, and then I skipped all of their attacks. You can see it later. And then obviously Wingardium Leviosa on the small rats kills them quite well. And now we're going to be using Incendio. Anyway, the glitch is all you have to do is push A on a certain frame. I don't know if it's frame perfect, but I did it again right there. You saw the rat just didn't attack. They get to attack every turn, especially after you use an item. A lucky crit there. So I do have a video kind of explaining it. I need to do a commentary kind of like this, actually explaining the glitch. But basically, I use a music cue to find out when to skip the attack. You can do it with any item. You can even do it with trying to flee, and then it'll work for that as well. So actually, that was a really good fight. I only had to heal twice. I only had to heal twice, I guess. So that's a really good fight. Sometimes he can crit you and do 100 damage. I've lost many runs to that guy. And here's another small glitch. I'm talking to him and walking away from him at the same time. It's just all it is graphical, and it's pretty fun because now we have to. It works the same way as that. So now we got the card. Now we kind of have you know, just a little bit of downtime. So now we're done with all the classes. We've done all the classes, and now here's Harry and Malfoy facing off, I guess. This is when they make a fight or appointment at the. They plan to fight at the trophy room, and so, of course, this night we have to go down to the trophy room, and we're gonna take everybody with us because why not? This it's pretty easy going down, but the first time you actually see encounters in the castle is on the way up after this. So right now there are no encounters in the castle, but every other time you go through the castle at night, there'll be encounters. The teachers don't even care. You could literally walk right up to them. They only take off points if you talk to them, and we don't want to talk to them in a speed run. That's a nice little turnaround there. I really like doing that, but if you mess it up, I mean, obviously you get caught on the stairs, so I just kind of do it. So the trophy room is down here. It's pretty easy to find. I'm pretty sure this is the only time the room's open as well. That's just a random fact. I don't think it's not useful anyway. So then Filch tries to catch you because it was set up, obviously. And then there's a small graphical glitch in this next room. I don't know if I got it in this one. I did. It barely got it, but I kind of just slid across the floor where I wasn't walking. Like Harry wasn't moving his legs. He was just sliding. It looks really weird, and I don't know why it happens in that room. You can make it happen in other places sometimes. It's usually after you pick up an item. If you just keep pressing the same direction, you can slide. I've already done it like 2 or 3 times in this run, just because I could. It didn't save any time, so. But anyway, there was Fluffy. We found out, you know, where the Sorcerer's Stone was, or Philosopher's Stone, whatever. And now we just have to go back up. Now you see there are encounters here, and well, we don't want to fight those. Really, we don't want any encounters anywhere else in the run, to be honest. There's a place where we grind later, but it's not regular encounters like this, and so they're basically all fixed encounters. It's where we grind. They give a lot of XP. So that was a really good return to Gryffindor. It went well. No encounters or anything. So now we're coming up on the toughest fight by far. Once you get past here in a run, you know your run's gonna finish. You still might not PB, but you know your run's gonna finish after you get past the troll. And this is, of course, the troll from Halloween. By the way, this is my favorite cutscene because Harry just walks down the stairs and then he's all of a sudden mad at Hermione. Really makes no sense, but it had to fit into the game somehow, I guess, because I don't know. This game actually stays fairly true to the story instead of you know, obviously classes have to add some kind of random things, but the overall story is pretty much there, which is cool for a game. So, you know, Quirrell runs up, tells him about the troll, and then we have to go save Hermione or tell Hermione because, you know, she's upstairs and doesn't know about it. And so we walk along this wall right here for the same reason that we did it earlier with Hermione. We have to get to that position, and if we stayed on the left, then we'd have to watch Harry slowly walk across the wall. Or walk over to the wall, you know, and so it's faster to walk along that wall right there, so by where Snape appears, and then I did the same thing right there. I walked to the right of that wall, and then up, so I have a shorter walking time towards the troll. All really small time saves, and so this is why we got Vertimilius. This fight is extremely tough, and as you can see, he does a third of your health every time he hits, and can crit for how about 120, 110, something like that. Actually, no, I think it's more like, I think crit's basically double, so it's more like 105, I guess. But anyway, it's a super tough fight. He has around 500 HP. I think it might be 500 exactly. I actually haven't calculated. I know the other runner has. But you see, I've used all my spells, and I haven't actually had to heal yet, which is super useful. I just almost died right there. I had 4 HP. I knew I was safe because his normal attacks do 51 or 52 at the max, and so if I get a crit, I would have died anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. But basically, what you do here is just keep using Vertimilius Duo, and hoping for crits. Hoping that you crit the troll, which does about 80, or at least don't miss, and then you stay alive. And you see right here, I got down to 10, so I healed again. So basically, you just use all your potions, use everything. You only need a few potions after this. So this is really why we made all the potions, bought everything. This fight is rough. You just keep going, and you always want to play it safe. Even if you can see his health is very low, you still want to heal. And I mean, unless you just want to, risk it all, I guess. But you still want to heal because his health is deceptively large. Because sometimes when he's just at a sliver, it'll still take 2 hits to kill him, and so it's very recommended, I guess, that you keep healing. And obviously, you have to heal. You have to use about 4 Wiccan Welds, or I mean 4 Pepper Up Potions to heal your magic in this, because you have 46 magic power, and each cast of Vertimilius Duo is 8. So you can get you can get 5 casts in your one, refill of magic. So sometimes you get unlucky, as you just saw there, and I had to about 30 seconds back, where I had to heal twice in a row. Sometimes that just happens. Sometimes he can chain it like 4 or 5 times, and that's when you know you're not going to be able to pass him. All in all, that was a really good troll fight. Well, it was really good as in I finished it. It was kind of average in terms of speed, I guess, but it could be a lot faster. But I survived, and I didn't have anything bad happen, so overall that means pretty good for me anyway. Basically, you just want to run to get past there. And then that's really the last main issue. There is one more, and then there's a few tough spots where you can lose a run. Either because you just lost a lot of time, or you died. Dying does cost some time in this game. The real thing is I haven't said yet because I don't do it. You can save anywhere in this game. So if you want to go, if you want to just you're beginning and you want to finish your run, definitely save before the troll. Probably I would say before the rat and green gods app for history and magic. Just because you can save anywhere, and I think it takes about 15 or 20 seconds to reset. So that's not really a big time loss if you lose. If you just want to finish a run, like your first few runs, that's really not a big deal. I used to save and continue runs, but now I don't even save because well, I'm going for a really good time, and I wouldn't reset a run even if I did happen to save it, and it was the best run I ever did until I died. I wouldn't reset it because it would take too much time. So basically here, you saw we had to talk to Hagrid. You know, just kind of standard. Then it's Christmas, and Peeves stole all of our Christmas presents. And this is another one of those quests where you're supposed to go find hints about where your presents are hidden. But we know exactly where they are. They're on the 6th floor in this room. Unlucky encounter there. I really thought I could squeeze past that one. One thing is, you should always be able to run from spiders. It's very unlikely that if you have a spider, and then I even picked the wrong chest. I was trying to be fast about it. It's always in the second chest in that room. And then Filch catches you there, so you lose some points and have to go back up. So yeah, now we just have to go back up to Gryffindor and open presents. This is going to be the part where I'm going to start running out of things to talk about. Because for a while it's really straightforward. But yeah, I'll just try to keep talking, I guess. There is one thing. When you leave this class, or not this class, when you leave the common room earlier, like actually leave the dorm, I guess, you don't want to go back in because Ron takes forever to talk, and I've gone back in multiple times by just holding down to leave this room, and then continuing to hold down into the next room, and then I instantly go back into the room, and I lose about 10-15 seconds because Ron takes forever to walk down, talk to you, and then for you to leave. So that's just one thing to be aware about. Again, this is just mash with B because it's faster. You get the invisibility cloak. Yeah, that's about it. I like how it looks in this game. It looks pretty good, I think. So now we obviously have to try out the invisibility cloak. This is still at, I guess it's still winter break or Christmas break. And this is where, you know, Harry wants to go to the restricted section of the library. Really just for no reason, because actually in the game, in the story, they already know who, you know, Nicholas Flamel is. You know, if you want to get into the actual story of Harry Potter, but they already know who it is because he got the Wizard's card, Dumbledore's card. He got it for Christmas, and that's how now they know about you know, Nicholas Flamel and the Sorcerer's Stone already. But now, so really, Harry just is looking around the library for no reason, I guess. But this is the fastest way to the library. Go down to that floor. I forget the numbers. I'm bad about remembering what floor is. But here's the restricted section. You grab this book right here. It's very important because it's a freezing spell. Locomotor Mortis, I believe. You can freeze enemies for quite a long time. There's another spell in the restricted section as well that I've thought about putting in the route. Petrificus Totalis. It freezes every enemy on the screen. For the thing is, they can still unfreeze. It's not permanent. And obviously here, when you want to get out of the detention, you don't want to run into any enemies. I actually skipped Snape's text box earlier by walking along that wall in the very beginning, and then you have to walk to this hallway. If you try to go up the next flight of stairs, Miss Norris will catch you, and then you have to start over. Like if you get caught here, you have to start over from Gryffindor Tower, go back to the restricted section, and then, you know, set the alarm again, and then make it up here. So it's a really big time loss if you get caught. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Petrificus Totalis, it works better, as in it gets every enemy, but it costs 60 magic power. So we would have to have more Pepera potions to be able to use it effectively. And it's still not permanent. So usually the way I use the the spell, it's usually only on the one enemy that I'm worried about. The enemy that does the most damage, while I take out the smaller, easier enemies. And so you'll see that later in a bit. So that's why, and this spell costs half as much magic power. It costs 30 instead of 60. So that's why right now Locomotor Mortis is the way to do it. So now we're kind of getting into the, I don't know, this is like kind of the Hagrid section, I guess. They actually did put the dragon in this game, so Hagrid was talking about, he was in the dragon section of the library, I guess. And I love how Malfoy is just sitting in the bottom right corner, and nobody acknowledges. Well, actually, I think Hermione acknowledges him there, but there's a later cutscene where nobody even acknowledges he's there. He's just standing there listening to him. So now we want to go talk to Hagrid about this, about what he's doing, and then we'll find out, that he has a dragon egg, and it's gonna hatch while we're down there. And then it comes to the most boring part of this run, and actually a part that I'll probably won't commentate over. I'll say what I need to, and then I'll probably leave and then come back at the end of the grinding section. I wouldn't blame you if you skipped it in the video as well. It's extremely boring. So we'll see it when you get there. It's about 10 or 11 minutes, but it's really no other way to do it right now. I've looked into ways to skipping the chicken fights. That's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to get chickens to feed Norbert, and conveniently, the chickens give a lot of experience. So instead of just getting the needed chickens the chickens that we need, the 5 we need to feed Norbert, we're just gonna fight. I believe it's 12 fights. I think it's like 12 or 15 fights, something like that. But anyway, you saw the chicken barely right there. These chickens can kind of go crazy. That was a really bad spawn. Sometimes I actually go off screen there and reset them to spawn. And but anyway, these chickens, the only time you're ever gonna die to them is if you have really low HP on the first set. These fights take forever because they're super laggy, because there's 3 of them and everything. But this is very necessary. So basically, we're gonna get all of our Incendio Uno casts here, and basically, you don't want to leave the site until you have Incendio Duo and your magic power is at least 76. The way this route works, you're almost always gonna have the magic power you need before you get Incendio Duo. And you can see right there, the chicken spawns in a certain area every time. So what you try to do is you try to get the chicken to run into you at the same spot every time. There's a lot of chickens all over the Hogwarts grounds, and this just happens to be the closest one to the hut. So, this is the one we go for. You're just using Incendio Uno the whole time. You do want to, this is just a side note, I guess. Sometimes, if you get a miss, which sometimes saves time, and saves a little time overall, I guess, like right there, because then you can get the level up early for the spell. And then I use the wrong spell there, which makes me feel really dumb. So this one I'm gonna have to use the Pepper Up Potion, which I didn't even realize was in the run. That makes me feel bad. So this run is definitely improvable. It's a side note. But anyway, here, oh, I didn't have to use the Pepper Up Potion. Okay, so this is the one that you're gonna need 2 sets of chickens to level up, and that would be the Incendio costs 8, and so that's 40. You need 48 magic power. So that means not a single, during these 2 fights, not a single Incendio can miss, or you have to use a potion, and you really don't want to use a potion or have a miss because it takes a long time. So right here, you really don't want to miss. I mean, obviously, there's nothing you can really do about it. It's kind of just RNG. So yeah, that's pretty bad. And you see right there, I got into the perfect position where all I do, as soon as the fight ends, I just keep mashing A, and the chicken runs right into me, and we start the fight automatically. And we do that, like I said, until 76 magic power and Incendio Duo. Usually you get to 80 magic power before you get Incendio Duo. I think with the old, for some reason, the old way, I used to be able to get Incendio, the old route, I used to be able to get Incendio Duo and level 80 at the same time. And I really don't know why that was. But the way this route works now, usually I get Incendio Duo pretty late, as in usually have to do one fight over level 80, or over 80 magic power. I don't even, just a side note, I don't even know the actual levels, the numbers you're supposed to be at. I just go by magic power because it's consistent every time. That's just how I do it. It's just something I can see on this screen that I don't have to go to a different screen to look for. So that's how I go by. It works for me. I don't know. And then also, this is another side note, I guess. This fight can soft lock the game pretty easily. I was a little off right there in mashing. But this fight can soft lock the game. It's happened 6 times to me, I think. You know, over you know, a year, I guess, of running this game. Still not really that many attempts, I guess, to get to the chickens. Most of them usually die on the troll, but it really sucks to lose a run to a soft lock on this game, or in this part of the game. I know it's happened to the other runner once, and then maybe even a few other times, because he runs an emulator, and sometimes the emulator has crashed. It looks different. It looks different than it would if it was on console, which all of my runs are actually. But I do think it's probably the same thing. So he's probably had only one, I know for sure, but he's probably had more than that. But it's to be honest, it's not really that common. I haven't had it in about 6 months, I don't think. So it's not really that bad of a thing. And I think here's where I'm going to cut out until the end of the chicken grinding. It's really kind of a boring spot. So I'll be right back. And okay, so I'm back. Basically, now you'll see at the end of this fight, I go up to level 8, I get AG magic power at the end of this fight, but I still don't have Vermilius Duo, or Incendio Duo, sorry. So I have to do another fight. This happens often, so it's pretty much expected. I'm pretty sure I lost time in my PB because I think on my previous PB I got it at level 80, or when I hit 80 magic power, and so I could do a whole less fight, but really it just, there's no way of optimizing how many fights you have to do. You need Incendio Duo. It saves a lot of time, and I got it just there. And so now we head back to Hagrid's cabin. That's an incredibly boring section, but very necessary. Like I said, I've tried to skip it. I've done just the actual 5 chickens you had to do, and then I tried to make it past the end game, and it's not possible. I don't think I've said it, but why we need the 80 magic power, or 76 actually works, is because that Mucus ad nauseum, the poison spell from earlier, cost 80 magic power, and it is basically the only way to beat the final bosses. There's kind of like a boss gauntlet at the end, and it's really the only way to beat the final bosses. But we'll talk about that later. So again, we were in the library. We got a note from Ron's brother Charlie, and now we have to take Norbert up to the tower. So right now we're just gonna go tell Hagrid that he's gonna come next week to get Norbert. And that was really bad movement, but I didn't want to get in that encounter, so that was my first reaction. There is a trick you can do. You can either press start or select near an enemy, and they'll despawn if you're close enough. It's risky to go for it on purpose, but if you just happen to, if you happen to try to do it, you happen to get close enough, and you have good reflexes to do it, it helps. They'll move to a different spot. This is kind of like the flying class, but much better. It goes a lot better than the flying class. You still get hit, obviously, but it's really just hold right and then dodge some few things. So you catch him there, and all's good. So then now we have to go through pretty much the longest section one of the longest sections where you don't want an encounter. You don't want a single encounter on the way down or the way back up, because we have to go all the way down to Hagrid's cabin and all the way back up to the 7th floor, where Gryffindor Tower is, basically. And there are no... that's another thing I haven't mentioned yet. See, already I've got an encounter. But it's a spider, so you can get away. But all the all of the shortcuts that we used early in the run are now closed. There's a lot more that we don't fit into the route because there's just not a use for them. I've timed out a lot of walking paths and stuff like that, and usually they come within 1 second of each other. So at that point it's almost preference, but there is a faster route, and the one I take in this run is the fastest that I have found so far. So one encounter on the way down is not too bad so far. It's a real pain to do though. And also, just another side note, there is a glitch where you can make Harry and Hermione not be invisible. I'm pretty sure it involves just pausing the game right when right after the cutscene ends at the at the beginning of this section. I actually did it in my segmented route, and I know Chris did it in a run one time. I think it was. I don't think he was streaming at the time, so I don't know. But I know it's in my segmented run that I put up a couple weeks ago. And actually, it was in the save. I saved right before coming down, and so every time I reloaded the save, I was not invisible. So that was really interesting. You of course become invisible again here because they have to make Norbert invisible. But so really, coming down here it's just a straightforward path, but you can lose a lot of time. I've lost runs just based on the fact that I lost 1 or 2 minutes, on this section, and then lost a minute on the chickens, and then lost a minute on the next part. So when you're it's an easy part of the game, but when you're speedrunning it, it becomes tough because you don't want to do. These turtles are the worst. The turtles attack first, and basically, in the way it works in this game, any enemy that attacks first is actually, surprisingly, it's harder to run away from. I don't know why that is. It's just actually harder to run away from them. Oh, actually, any enemy that I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm saying there. But the turtles are hard to run away from. Sorry. The turtles are hard to run away from. It's kind of reverse though, as in you would think the turtles would be easy to run away from, and the spider would be hard to run away from because the spider's, faster. But it's kind of really it's really strange. Once you remember all the enemies, it's not a big deal. There are actually a lot of enemies that we never even see in a run if it goes optimally. There's enemies you never see at all because you don't even go into the rooms where they would spawn. So that's, interesting. And here's a skip here. I think I've failed it in this run, actually. You can actually squeeze into that door without hitting this trigger right here. I wasted a lot of time there by going for the skip and then failing it. So you can save all this time in the cutscene. They never spawn, and you can just go straight into the room if you do it right. So obviously, that was cutting it close on that encounter there. But obviously, that saves about 15 seconds, I believe. I shouldn't have tried to squeeze past that one. I don't know. But anyway, overall, this section has been pretty good. I think this hallway goes really bad. I was trying to run away there, and it obviously didn't work. And now we get to the top. And we forget our invisibility cloak, of course. Because it's a smart thing to do. So all we do is go back down and get caught. In this next cutscene, there's a glitch I do walking during the cutscene that I kind of make. I make sure I do it every time because I think it's really funny. There's absolutely no way to skip this 150 point drop. so you really just have to sit through this whole cutscene. And then if I hold down and right after this cutscene, and it makes Harry walk out, and when he says, you know, 50 points or 50 each or something like that, and so I always thought it was funny. He just kind of looks dramatic, I guess. You know, he's walking away from. But anyway, now we go straight into the detention. You know, from all that, you want to walk towards this wall so we get to this spot quicker. You know, like earlier, and then go straight into the Great Hall, I guess. And so it's another little mashing thing. And then after this is a kind of a small time save where the entrance to Forbidden Forest is in the bottom left of the map. So you would think going through Hagrid's cabin, since you're going down left, would be one of the fastest ways, but actually it's like 1 second faster to go straight down and then cut across to the left to get down to the Forbidden Forest, because that's less transition screens. And then you kind of walk through the bush there. It's always kind of fun. I've actually tried to skip this cutscene, and there's actually a video on my channel of me trying to do it, and a really interesting glitch happens where, like, the entire bottom area of this room, I guess, or, you know, basically has the trigger for this cutscene. And so Harry does this walking animation from wherever he is. He zooms up to the top left corner. It's pretty entertaining to watch. But this is also another pretty tricky part of the run where you can lose a lot of time to encounters. I actually think this section might be nearly encounterless in my PB. Because this was actually a really good split until something that happens later. You'll see. But this is actually a really good split overall. So basically, you know, you want to make your way. It's kind of like a maze. It's a pretty simple maze overall, and where Hagrid and Hermione walk after this cutscene with the centaurs up here is completely the wrong way to go. It loops around to the correct direction, but this is the long way. That, you know, they wanted to make it. They wanted to make it, I guess, a longer maze. So they want you to think that you should follow Hagrid and Hermione over there, but that just, you know, wastes time. Hagrid and Hermione are actually back this way and then straight down. This always confused me until I actually, you know, started looking around, and I found this route. And it makes it much quicker. I'm pretty sure it takes, you know, 45 seconds to a minute to walk around the other way. Obviously, I found this early on in routing, and so I've never really done it the other way, other than, you know, when I was playing casually. So basically, you just follow the optimal route here, which this is, and try to avoid encounters again, because with the chickens, we got the last, I guess, non-boss level up that we're gonna get. So basically, the only bosses we're gonna fight now, or the only enemies we want to fight now, are the final bosses. So, which there are a lot of, but that's coming up. So we want 0 encounters from after we finish chickens to the end of the game, basically. That's never happened, obviously, just because that takes a lot of runs, I guess, you know, a lot of because they can completely spawn directly on top of you, and that's really hard to dodge. So it's hard to optimize in that way, which is why I don't have a fully optimal run later. This would have been a really good time, and it is still a really good time because it's a PB. But as you'll see later, I actually die in this run. It's extremely bad death, where it was just me being a little too greedy. I was trying to save time by not healing fully. There's actually a death warp you can set up for at the end of this section. So basically, like if I were to die in here, I would go back to the unicorn, where I found the unicorn, and obviously that would waste time. We wouldn't go to the hospital wing like when you usually die in the castle. You go to the hospital wing. So we thought maybe I got confused there for a second on that run. That one. So I thought maybe that if you died here, you would go back up to the castle, and that would save time. It didn't really work that way. But later, this is basically the end of the game. All we have left is the like one little mission, and then go through the trapdoor and then finish the game and everything. So at that point in the game, you can die on outside Gryffindor Tower, because you're leaving from Gryffindor in the middle of the night, and then you can get warped all the way down to the 3rd floor outside of Fluffy's room with full health. So if you see my health right now, it's at 34. That's a great spot to be at to do the death warp, because you want to die fast. These were unfortunate because they just wasted time and didn't do anything. And this is another thing right here. This is the only case that I found, that anybody's found, any of the runners found, that the shortcuts are actually open at night. There's one shortcut that is open at night right here, and so it saves a few floors. It's luckily the quickest way to get up from the dungeon. Actually is not open, so you can't go through the dungeon to that floor, but you can go from behind the griffin to the 5th floor, and then 6th floor, 7th floor, then you're up to the top. So, and here's where the really bad encounter happens right here. It's extremely embarrassing that this was in the run. So I'm at 9%. I'm thinking about using a Wig and Well and saying no, I'll just use a pumpkin pastry, and then I die. So now I have to go back all the way down to the 4th floor, get fully healed, but I would have done that anyway. When you head into the final boss rooms, you get fully healed, so you don't have to worry about healing at all. You just have to get there, and so this wasted, I'm pretty sure, over a minute on my PB. But the funny thing is, this split, which my splits are super long for some reason, all the way from completing the chickens to beating the Devil's Snare, which is about a 20-minute split, it's all one split. So I actually ended up saving 3 seconds on that split with this about a minute death. So obviously my PB was pretty bad, which is why this is 1:43 in game time. No save and quit at all. So it's an accurate in game time. So 141 or 140 should definitely be possible. And so that's kind of where I'm headed as a goal-wise. Mostly 141. 140 would be tough. 140 would be really tough. But like I said earlier, in this run, I was super behind early on in this run, and then I kind of made up all the time right around herbology, potions, and to the troll. And right here, all you have to do is talk to McGonagall. She's just standing right here, and then you go up to Gryffindor, and then you start the final part of the game. So, but anyway, basically the beginning of this run was the very beginning was kind of bad. The middle was pretty good, and then the end was really bad because of that death. So there's time to be saved, and I intend to start doing runs again and hopefully get the time down. The RNG in this run is pretty bad sometimes, mostly on the troll fight and on a couple of the other fights. If you've ever played this game, you know what I'm talking about. So it's still a really fun game to run, though. So basically, we have to watch this cutscene, and then this is where the death warp would happen if I was still at low HP. But since I died and got fully healed, you just want to walk down here and counter this. It really doesn't save that much time, but I think it saves a few seconds if you get it optimally. Really, to be honest, I don't think I'll be going for it anymore, based on, just how stupid that death was, and on how you can see how quick this actually is if you if you don't get the death warp. It's still pretty quick, and you do it in counterless. It's still really quick. So now we're going through the trapdoor. And this is where the run gets really technical, and to be honest, I'll probably, we're going to start talking about the glitch here in a little bit, and I'm not going to be able to explain it all in the time given, so I'll probably end up making a video specifically explaining the glitch if somebody wants to see it. I don't know if I am, but we'll see. Anyway, so here, this middle Devil Snare does a lot of damage, like over 80. So you freeze it and kill the other ones this is why we get Incendio Duo. And this is also why we don't use the poison spell, Mucus Ad Nauseam, on this fight. So this is why we can enter this fight at 76 magic power, because at the end of this fight we'll have 80 magic power for the next fight. Basically, you're not, if you do this correctly, you're not going to die from here on out, except for on the very, very final boss. There's a very small chance. So again, here, you run out of magic. You need one maybe I think you need actually I think you need 2 pepper potions in this fight, to be honest. I forget the amount. You use 30 on freezing him, then you use 30. Yeah, you can do it with one pepper potion on this fight. So that was a really good fight. He didn't unfreeze. They do have the ability to unfreeze, so that was actually surprisingly good. This is another one of those RNG things. You have to catch the key. When the RNG is optimal, you can just hold up and not hit a single key and get the key at the top. Let's see how this one's, and you can see how you can get comboed. To be honest, this isn't great, but it's not that bad. It looks bad, but this part is really bad, really awful. So that part is really bad, but it's more just a, you just have to figure out how to fly the broom, and it's, I don't know, it's one of the worst parts of the run, to be honest, that little thing. Okay, and so here is the glitch. So I'm messing up menuing here. So we poison this guy, use all our magic power, and then I'll just kind of let it speak for itself for a little bit. And keep in mind, I'm doing this really poorly because I was out of practice at this point when I did this run. I was out of practice at this part of the run because I hadn't finished the run in possibly months. Okay, so basically that guy is supposed to attack every time he gets poisoned, and he gets poisoned after your turn. and then he's supposed to attack. But we press A using that glitch from earlier where we skipped the rat's attack very early in the, well, kind of in the middle of the run. We skipped his attack. And so what we did here was we skipped his attack and then we chained it straight into another poison. So basically we skipped his turn and Harry's turn and just let the poison damage stack. The way to do it is it's really easy to do the glitch with the poison, because you triple tap A 3 times as soon as the purple 20 appears, and then you should see another 20 appear right behind it, and that means you did it right. If you saw on the second the second chess piece, I didn't chain it, and that's because depending on if the enemies attack you first, you can do the glitch on them, and you can skip their attack. If they don't attack you first, then you cannot skip their attack, which is why, and I freeze this guy just because I have the magic to without healing. It's really not optimal, and I don't even think I do it in the run anymore. But you can see how it's kind of stacking, and like I said, this was a really bad execution on this part because I hadn't done this in a long time. So I was kind of, this is a pretty bad finish overall, but surprisingly from the split, I hit the split at the end of this Devil Snare fight, and then to the split at the end of the game, I actually saved time as well. So there's more time to be saved on just this part, probably another 20 seconds. But anyway, that's the glitch that makes this game possible at a low level. If that wasn't there, we would have to have so much more potions, and to make it happen. This game, I might need to do a separate commentary for this game too. Basically, you do what I do is I do 1 up on everyone. There's 4 options, so I go up on the first one on every time, and then change 1 at a time and see what I can get. Basically, there's 4 ingredients, 4 right ones, and you want to make sure they're all correct. It's kind of confusing. That's a really bad explanation of it. I mean, if you have any questions after this, just definitely ask. I don't mind answering questions. Either message or just comment on the video, whatever. But anyway, here's the end of the run. Luckily, Quirrell and Voldemort both can take the poison, can die to the poison damage, and you can chain it. So Quirrell here, he can do a lot more damage than he did to me, and I freeze him just because I have the magic power to do it again. Not really necessary, not optimal. Probably shouldn't do it. You should probably just flee and then do the glitch, which is how you do the glitch if you didn't know. It's either using an item or fleeing is how you start the glitch. And there I messed it up, but I just got back to my menu, so I still skipped his attack, but then I could just do start the glitch again, and you can see sometimes I'm getting the double 20s there, like right there. I got a flash. I did it again, chained it again, chained it again, chained it again. This is just triple tapping A every time the 20 pops up, and then the next time, like on the first time, you do it when the 20 pops up, and then the next time you do it when it has like a little flash of white. It's pretty easy to do, honestly. It takes a little while to get. And this is Voldemort. He can kill you if he crits on your first hit, so he's super dangerous. Like I said, if you're new runner, definitely save before this fight. So you'd have to save in the potion room, and because of that, he will kill you in 2 hits if they both hit. So that's why the first thing you do in this fight is freeze him. He has a lot of HP as well, so doing it 20 at a time takes a while. But when you actually, this is awful by the way, when you actually chain this right, this fight takes no time at all. But the Voldemort fight, you freeze him instantly, and then do the poison, and then you do the glitch on him. I really need to come up with a name for the glitch. I've just been calling it either the glitch or the skip attack glitch. I don't really know, or the poison glitch. It needs a better name. But anyway, it's the same way as the Quirrell fight and in the chess pieces fight, and you just keep doing that, and it makes this fight super easy, where you don't even really have a risk of dying. There is one thing, I mentioned it very early in the commentary. Quirrell can poison you, and if you don't have your antidote still, then you have to worry about when you're doing the poison glitch on him, because that means your poison is going down every turn as well, or every time you hit A as well. So you have to do it correctly, as in stop and then heal yourself, because he has more HP than you. And it looks like Slytherin barely won in this. Oh no, Hufflepuff won. Okay, so Hufflepuff won House Cup. Really, I don't know what makes the difference there. Sometimes Gryffindor wins. There's supposed to be and you get like a special thing at the end if Gryffindor wins. But anyway, there's actually a few things you're supposed to do to get more points to make sure Gryffindor wins. But actually, most of my runs Gryffindor does win. But really not important unless you wanted to go like best ending or something like that, which I don't want to do. It would basically be the same as a real regular run. But anyway, thanks for watching. That's pretty much all I have. I'll let it go until it gets to the time, which I already know is 1:43 and no seconds. So, like I said, this is still my PB at the moment. I am going to be doing attempts soon, so should go down. The other runner, Chris Laughs, he streams occasionally. I don't ever really stream, but he has a time of 1 hour 50 minutes on a game time. I don't remember the seconds, but so we're kind of close. I need some more competition, so if you want to come do it, join us. So there's the 1:43, and thanks for watching. See you, and feel free to ask any questions in the comments or message. And thanks.